Castle Wars is one of RuneScape's most iconic minigames, but it's been unplayable for over a decade now. Sure, you could log into RuneScape and join a game of Castle Wars, but you'll quickly notice that something's wrong. This is the story of how someone has been sabotaging Castle Wars for 10 years and why there's no end in sight. Real quick, if you enjoy my content, I'd appreciate a like on this video, and if you've been watching for a while, maybe even consider subscribing, because about 80% of the people watching this video aren't subscribed. First of all, I'm not going to list any of these guys' usernames. I'm sure Jagex already has a million tip-offs of who they are, and I don't want to give them any publicity, because guys like this, as you'll see later, would love that. Castle Wars, originally released in 2004, is simply a game of capture the flag with a RuneScape twist. Two teams fight to capture the other team's flag while setting traps, launching catapults, and engaging in combat. As you'd expect, sabotaging the other team is part of the game. Set off a trap, make a wall of barricades, and so on. But sabotaging has a new meaning in the Castle Wars community. We're going to go down the list of what some players are doing. Not only is a lot of it immoral, it's illegal too. First is the use of alternate accounts. Now, I'm not talking about an actual useful alternate account. These guys make a bunch of fresh level 3s, buy the membership, take them on over to Castle Wars, and fill the enemy team with them. Castle Wars needs a near equal balance of players for a game to start. So let's say the Zamorak team has 30 real players, and the Saradomin team has 20 real players and 10 alts. That's a massive disadvantage. Saradomin just can't win. These guys do this all day too. They keep the alts logged in the match, so that real players can't join the other team. In fact, if you go into a game of Castle Wars, you can usually find all the alts hiding in this room, along with players who just want tickets and don't want to play. This forces a lot of players onto the Zamorak team, which as a result wins every time. Barricades are one of the best parts of Castle Wars. They allow so much strategy by allowing you to block players. Plus, they're annoying to have to click around. Your team can only have a limit of 10 up at a time, so they're not too overpowered. You can attack them to destroy them, light them on fire, and even blow them up. Problem: Castle Wars is kinda big, and most of the action happens right here above ground. So someone can make an ult, place it on the enemy team, fill up their inventory with barricades, and hide all 10 somewhere else. Of course, someone can find them and destroy them, but usually they place down a new one right as the old one is destroyed. You can't kill the player doing it either because they're on your team. This one, although not rule breaking, is used in combination with alts and barricade spamming. A group of players will enter Castle Wars with the best magic gear they have. They will then sit together in the same spot casting Ice Barrage on anyone who comes upstairs. With that many people casting barrages, it's near impossible to move or escape. Combine that with other sabotage methods and it's actually impossible to win. Cheat clients and illegal plugins have become a huge problem in old school RuneScape. Many plugins banned from RuneLite exist on these clients and give significant advantages to those using them. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to endorse any of these clients. Cheat clients have more or less ruined competitive Castle Wars. Maneuvers that were previously difficult or intensive to be pulled off can now be done with just one hotkey. Options like destroying a barricade are made left clickable, allowing players to react significantly faster. All of this may not sound bad, but in the long run, it saves so much time and takes so much of the skill out of the game. Watching clips of players who use cheat clients trying to play without them shows just how much of a crutch they really are. The bigger effect isn't the cheating itself, but the effect it has on the community. It's broken the game, caused huge paranoia around any high tier mechanics, and I quote, "The word client is used as much as simp now in Castle Wars. It's in shambles, really." It kinda reminds me of when bots were at their peak before the bot nuke, and anyone who was skilling and not talking would be called out and accused of botting. Paranoia has really just run rampant in Castle Wars. Nobody trusts anyone. This is where we delve into the more illegal side of Castle Wars. Public cheat clients don't have all the features that cheaters want, so they'll often develop plugins for the client themselves or reach out to someone else who develops plugins. About a month ago, a huge scandal shook the Castle Wars community. A plugin was floating around that was later discovered to have a keylogger. When you run the plugin, it would then download the keylogger from the plugin developer's Dropbox. From there, it would log every key you pressed, screenshot every time you clicked to get your bank pin, and take the runelite.properties file from your computer to get account information. And it would then email all of those off to the guy who coded the plugin. I got in contact with a player named Pid and Win who documented this entire thing. He managed to get access to the plugin developer's email server and downloaded all the plugin logs as well as deleting the keylogger the plugin downloads. After going through the logs, he was able to intercept some Discord messages that go really deep in the community. A lot of people were involved in this, and there were plans to try and target people they were friends with. For example, one of those players involved had a plan to backstab their wealthy friend. The wealthy player had given him over 20 million GP worth of potions, staked for him, and so on. But they got greedy and wanted to hack him. Again, nobody trusts anyone. Let's talk a little bit about who's doing all this. The person you're probably most interested in is somebody who's been sabotaging Castle Wars games for, allegedly, over 10 years. From what I've been told, he's on World 334 Castle Wars almost every single day. Even worse, he's managed to gain a following and created a clan that helps him sabotage. While researching, pretty much everyone I talk to hates this guy, and I'd say with good reasoning. His main tactics seem to be the previously mentioned barricade wasting, alt flooding, max mage stacking, and use of cheat clients. Now, not only does he sabotage Castle Wars, he plans on sabotaging Soul Wars the day that releases. Although he was the first main player to sabotage, and the only one who's a clan owner as far as I can tell, quite a few other players have learned from him. In fact, a lot of the sabotaging that goes on today is in retaliation to other players sabotaging. For example, that clan sabotages the other team, someone on that team gets mad and tries to sabotage back. It's basically an endless cycle of paranoia and sabotaging. How can this be fixed? Well, it's been an issue for years, and every time it's been brought up, it's kind of gotten the classic answer of, we're still looking into it, or we don't have a solution yet.
Castle Wars is always sabotaged. Do you have any plans to address this?
I don't think plans are on there.
Right before Mod Aiza left Jagex originally, he was collecting information on how to solve the Castle Wars issue. He said a few weeks ago, since his return, he's been working on it again. So here's to hoping we see some changes implemented soon.
This is a time where I will hold my hands up on behalf of everyone else. And there's people in the chat that are saying Castle Wars in 2020, lol. There is actually a really active competitive community for Castle Wars. But in terms of like the holding the hands up, do not remember the stuff that was sent over when I used to work at Jagex before. And I do not remember or have any knowledge at the moment without going to check with the rest of the team what we might already have. If any of you have the ability to send me a message on Twitter or on Discord or even on Reddit, please send me a DM. I will happily do that, even if it's something I have to do in my own time, just to get a better understanding of exactly what it is that's going on, so that we can look at this as something that we can potentially solve.
The only problem is a lot of the suggestions he's been given can and will change the Castle Wars meta forever. Things like the use of alts to stack teams unfairly could be solved easily by making a level cap and adding an activity timer, but that's not something everyone supports. The biggest issue is trying to solve barricades. They're such an important item and are the core of most Castle Wars strategies. Limiting the amount of barricades each player could use or changing their mechanics could ruin the game for a lot of players. Right now the ball is in Jagex's court, and I hope they come up with a solution this time around. They've already banned quite a few sabotagers, but it's ridiculously easy for them to make new accounts and pick up right where they left off. A training method at the Blast Furnace has created some of RuneScape's strongest PvP accounts that go for hundreds on underground markets. But one group of players wants it gone. Find out why people have sabotaged this place every day for years by clicking the video on screen right now.